All right, today we're diving into a pretty heavy analysis. It's all about the United States, and it argues that the country is standing at a really dangerous crossroads. So let's just jump right in and see what it's all about.
So the source material we're looking at, it doesn't pull any punches. It kicks things off with this incredibly stark statement. It's framing this whole thing not as, just some political disagreement, but as a nation that's literally splitting at the seams.
And that right there leads to the huge, provocative question at the heart of this entire thing. It's a question that honestly feels more urgent today than ever before. How close is the U.S. to actually breaking apart? Okay, so how on earth did we get to this point? Well, according to this analysis, this crisis didn't just pop up out of nowhere. No, it argues the warning signs, they've been flashing for a long, long time. The source points to things we've all seen, right? The street protests, the really shocking acts of political violence, the way communities just seem to be turning on each other. The argument here is that these aren't just random headlines. No, they're symptoms of a much deeper problem, a divide that's deeper than anything we've seen in recent memory. So what's really causing all this? What's at the root of this split? This analysis actually drills down into 4 major fault lines that it says are actively tearing the country apart. Let's break them down.
First up, and this is one we can all feel, is just intense political polarization. And look, this goes way, way beyond just disagreeing about taxes or healthcare. The source describes it as something much more fundamental, a deep split in how people even see the world.
And this conflict, it's everywhere. It's not just about politicians yelling at each other in D.C. anymore. The source paints a picture of a reality where blue versus red has become this central battle line in our offices, in our neighborhoods, and yeah, even at the family dinner table.
Now, what's pouring gasoline on that political fire? Well, the second major driver is widespread economic stress. The analysis really highlights this constant, nagging sense of financial pressure that's just weighing on millions and millions of people.
And this is absolutely crucial. When people are constantly stressed about making rent or what a surprise medical bill could do to them, when they feel like they are just one paycheck away from total disaster, that creates this powerful undercurrent of anxiety. And that anxiety, the source argues it turns into political anger really, really easily.
All right, the third major fault line, this is the fierce conflict over culture and identity. These are the debates that get super personal. They touch the very core of who we think we are, both as individuals and as a whole country. So the analysis points out that these huge fundamental questions about gender, about race, about immigration, and what it means to be a nation, they aren't just topics for a polite debate anymore. They've become what the source calls battlefield topics. It's a world where the other side isn't just wrong, they're seen as an actual threat. And in that kind of environment, compromise, it feels pretty much impossible.
And finally, we've got the fourth driver. And this one kind of distorts all the others. We're talking about a completely fractured media landscape, just supercharged with misinformation. And this changes how we see absolutely everything. And this really gets to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? It's a complete breakdown of a shared reality. When every side has its own truth, its own set of facts, its own set of fears that are being fed to them constantly, how can you possibly have a real conversation? Where do you even start?
Okay, so this is where the analysis takes a really crucial turn. The experts cited in the source, they're warning that this whole problem is evolving. It's moving beyond just simple division and into something a lot more dangerous.
And I want you to pay close attention to this word choice because it matters. The text says America isn't just divided, it's fragmenting. See, divided kind of implies two big sides pulling apart, right? But fragmenting, that suggests something is shattering into a bunch of little pieces. It suggests the very glue holding the nation together is starting to dissolve.
And the proof of this fragmentation, the source says, is piling up all around us. Just think about it for a second. Record low trust in the government. People buying guns at historically high levels. You've got states passing laws that are the polar opposite of their neighbors. And a very real, measurable increase in political violence. See, it's not just one single crisis. It's like all of them are hitting at the exact same time.
So the big question is, where does all this fragmentation lead? The source brings up a pretty chilling term that some experts are starting to use to describe what's happening, and it forces us to ask the ultimate question: are we watching a slow-motion collapse?
So let's be super clear about what this term, Cold Civil War, actually means. We're not talking about armies and battlefields in the traditional sense. Not at all. This is a conflict fought with totally different weapons. political weapons, economic weapons, cultural weapons, and the battlefield is our everyday life.
Yeah, think of it like this. Instead of clashing armies, you have clashing ideas. And instead of fighting on a physical battlefield, the conflict zone is everywhere. It's in the classroom, it's in the corporate boardroom, it's in the town square, it's all around us.
And according to the source material, these are the new front lines. The battle isn't somewhere far away, it's local. It's cities versus rural America. It's blue states versus red states. And in the most extreme cases, it's literally neighbor versus neighbor. The analysis makes one thing crystal clear. The tension is very real, and it's only getting worse.
So, all this brings us to the end of the analysis and to the ultimate stakes. What's the final cost when a nation is this much in conflict with itself? To really hammer home just how serious this is, the source brings up a very powerful, very famous quote. It's a principle that echoes all the way through American history, and it's a stark reminder of exactly what's on the line. The final takeaway is pretty sobering. The source does acknowledge that America is still a strong country fundamentally, but it leaves us with this clear and urgent warning. The forces pulling it apart are speeding up, and the cracks in the foundation are spreading faster than ever before. And that's where the analysis leaves us. It reframes this whole internal struggle as something with massive global importance, and it leaves us with one final, chilling question. The question isn't if this divide is going to affect the rest of the world, but when.